Chinatown on 4K is finally out. Of course, I'm very late to talk about this, but Chinatown on 4K was kind of a weird story. So basically, Paramount has this line called Paramount Presents, which I just think they should stop. Because if you don't know the thing about Paramount Presents, this is a quick little rant, and then we'll get into this 4K and talk about the movie. The movie line that they created, Paramount Presents, was kind of a line that was numbered, and it'd be like these more obscure Paramount classics that they would kind of put into the line. And some of these weren't even obscure. Like Chinatown's not obscure. That's a classic, a very famous classic. It's one of the great American classic films, like top 50 best American classic films. But like they numbered these lines, and it started out with movies that were remastered in 4K, but not on 4K discs. They were just Blu-ray discs. Then they started doing some 4Ks. Then they would take some of those 4K discs that they did in the Paramount Presents line, and then they would give them a regular Paramount 4K just like this. And so it was like, what's the point of the line? And so I think no one collects that, and I think Paramount's kind of catching on and might stop making those, which they really should do. It's just a terrible line. You should have started, if you're going to remaster the movies in 4K, should have been on a fucking 4K disc from the very beginning. Don't understand that. But Chinatown was the worst one, I think, because Chinatown, number one, is a great classic, and so they overestimated the demand, so that Paramount Presents edition went out of print, got very pricey, people wanted it, they had to reprint it, they reprinted it, and then they had to do this version, which is the version I recommend. I think the Paramount Presents version is really cool if you're a major fan of that movie. It's got cool packaging, and it's got, like, the sequel to Chinatown. But at the end of the day, this is the more affordable version. It has all the same special features from what I understand, which is a lot. You got a commentary with the screenwriters, a State of Mind author commentary, Chinatown Memories, the trilogy that never was. Like a bunch of stuff on here about the legacy of Chinatown, things like that. So all this stuff in here. But yeah, like this is the version I recommend. It's cheaper. It has all the same stuff except that sequel, which you could probably find other places. And I'm sure they'll put that on 4K at some point, considering this movie sold really well. This is actually one I just waited for years to pick up because I knew Paramount was going to do this one. I mean, again, this is one of the great American classics. Here's the artwork here. Great slipcover and artwork. Just that original poster art, just the 4K disc. I adore this movie. I think this 4K is the best this movie's ever looked. Looked incredible. Very cleaned up. And I think it was just great rewatching this movie. Because this is a movie from the very beginning you're sucked in. It just kind of this is a movie that just kind of starts at a time and a place where events have already happened. And it feels so lived in from the very beginning. It's a very well written, paced, scripted, and acted movie. It's a masterclass in really just filmmaking on every level, really, when you watch this film. It's so good. If you've never seen this movie, this is one of the great... do I call it a noir? I'm not a noir person, like a noir film person, enough to really know if it really fits that template, I guess. I feel like it is. It's got a lot of that tropes. But it's kind of its own beast in a weird way. It's a very unique film that lives and breathes on its own, and is one of the great films of all time. Maybe top 100 greatest films ever made. I know I said greatest American films, but I think it might just be top 100 greatest films made, period. It's just great. And really rewatching that last night really showed me that. So I highly recommend picking this up. I mean, it's an incredible release despite all the confusion that's happened with this release over the past several months. I really recommend picking this film up. It's fantastic.